Hello, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and your excellencies.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be here at the 7th edition of the Dubai International Project Management Forum. My name is Jane Witherspoon. I'm the Bureau Chief for Euronews in Dubai. Now, as we explore the theme towards the future, and as we discuss best practices in strategy, innovation and management that will transform the way projects create a long-lasting, sustainable impact on the society and community they operate in, I'm delighted to be joined on stage here by His Excellency Sultan Bin Sulayem, Group Chairman and CEO of DP World. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to meet you today.
Great. I wanted to begin by asking you, which mega projects have defined the growth and success of DP World in recent years?
Without a doubt, it is Jebel Ali. Jebel Ali port construction was really a game changer. I remember hearing about the project in the past. You know, when we were just in high school and we heard a new project coming. We didn't know what it was. We couldn't understand it. But having the opportunity to work on it eventually and see the magnitude and the huge size of Jebel Ali, it really taught us a lot. This project is well thought of. For example, usually ports are built in the sea. They reclaim land and they build the port in the sea. This port was built uniquely in the land. So they carved the land to create for the port basins. It is a cost of about $2.5 billion when you talk about the port, which started construction in '76 and finished in '79. And the idea was to have a port, industrial park, a free zone, and an airport. And of course, at that time, there was no airport, which is now a major airport in Jebel Ali.
Yeah.
And so why this project is unique? Because as we started to grow as a company and we've been building ports around the world, we realized to build a port, you need to build a breakwater.
Yeah.
Building a breakwater is a big cost. Building a breakwater for the port has no relation to the money we make out of the port. So if I build a port, like if you build a port in a place, in a river, or in a bay, I don't need a breakwater. And if I build the same port on the ocean, I need a breakwater. The breakwater cost is as much as to build the port. So if you build a port for $300 million, $300 million will cost you just for the breakwater. And so we started to learn that to avoid that, we have to build the port places where there is no breakwater, like Ecuador, for example. We resisted to build it in the sea, and we managed to build it in the bay. Senegal, Dakar, we're going to build a port, and it took me 4 hours on the beach to find a place to do just like Jebel Ali. So we're fortunate to have a big swamp, which I told the government, this is what I want. And they said, but it's a bad area. I said, don't worry, because I don't need to dig. And that's where we're going to build it. And it's going to save us money. So no doubt, our late ruler Sheikh Rashid, God bless his soul, was a visionary man and was a detailed man. He really was involved in the construction, in the design. And looking today at what he did, we realized the importance of that. And so what we did in Jebel Ali now, we do it outside in the world. But also, not just the design. The port is built to be a port, logistic, industrial, and an airport. And today, we do the same. In Dakar, there's an airport the government built. We recommended they build it there. So the port, the airport, and in between the logistic park. This becomes the most important seamless connection between port and airport, air cargo and sea cargo. And we are, wherever around the world today, we do have an opportunity, we will build the same, because it's the most successful experience we have. And a free zone around the industrial park, they all help each other. And so it's unique.
I think it's a true testament to the vision of Dubai and, of course, your company, yes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we built on the knowledge of Dubai. Dubai is a good test because what we did in Dubai, nobody has done it in the past. A lot of people, what we do in Dubai, they always look at it with surprise and skepticism. Jebel Ali was basically branded as a white elephant because nobody could understand why would you put $2.5 billion in a project today that is in the middle of nowhere. But they don't realize what we have of information. What Sheikh Rashid's vision was, is that he built Port Rashid, it wasn't enough. He needed something bigger.
Yeah.
But also the vision was, and he is a very smart person, he said, when we build a port, okay, who is going to use it? We don't want people to wait for people to use it. So they build an aluminum smelter which has a berth to use the port. He also built a few infrastructure, a few, I would say, industries. Because if we go to open a port like Jebel Ali and invite people to invest, what will attract them? And Sheikh Rashid told the advisors that we need to show people we believe in the project. So he built Dubai Aluminum, Cleveland Bridge, Dubai Gas Processing Plants, and Dubai Cable Company. 4 companies, Dubai built them to tell the world, we build the infrastructure and we build the superstructure. If you want to join our success, come. That is how much he believed in the project. And that's why he built this project, which today, they are all successful.
You mentioned there some of the challenges and things you overcame. You know, were there any unsuspecting challenges with this particular project at Jebel Ali?
Well, first of all, I wasn't there when they built it. Okay, so when we came, it was ready.
Yeah.
But as we started to work in it, I was a trainee, and then in Japan, you know, in the leadership. After many years, we realized the amazing concept that we felt is going to be good to do somewhere. We did the same thing in London.
Yeah.
London Gateway is built on the model of Jebel Ali. It's a port. It is a huge industrial park. And we never thought that UK one day will get out of the EU. We never thought the UK, for example, will even embrace a free zone concept. When the government of UK decided to put a free port concept in UK, they allowed us and they awarded us London Gateway, which is our port, and Southampton. And the experience and the knowledge we gained in marketing this place and bringing customers gave us the customer base. So today in Jebel Ali, we have 600 companies. Their total trade is $140 billion. About 100 of them are at least from the Fortune 500. So my problem in Jebel Ali today, I have no more space. So it is interesting because I can move some of these people for expansion to Dakar, where we have a huge area near the port, or Egypt, where we have an industrial park, or Somaliland, or Ecuador. There are many places where these people can expand.
Where is the future of global trade headed, and how is this shaping DP World's vision for the future?
Well, there are many changes happening in the world today. And I cannot ignore the pandemic and what the pandemic did to us, because the natural factory of the world is the Far East, led by China. But when the pandemic happened, the world realized they cannot afford that China will close or shut down. But they had no choice. And that disrupted the supply chain.
Yeah.
There was a move of nearshoring for a long time. A lot of people before the pandemic in the logistics believe that manufacturing a project should be where the consumers are. This is really built on many innovations in technology, 3D printing and manufacturing. nanotechnology, which means nobody does anything by hand. It's all done by machines. So you look at Sony. Sony doesn't make television. They have a machine that makes television. And so when Sony want to make a factory, they move the same machine to Malaysia and produce it. There's no reason why that machine cannot go to produce in Dubai or produce in many other parts. But even though the concept was good and the rewards are good, there was no reason really for people to move their factories. But now, after the pandemic, many people are thinking of moving. So the movement will happen is where the manufacturing, where the consumer are. So this is good because the industries have changed. When you get nanotechnology, when you get industries that doesn't need a human intervention by hand, that means that the industry of today dictating on us that these are industries of the brain, of knowledge. So naturally, I believe countries where they have the high education, knowledge in technology will be candidates for these factories to move to them. So UK, for example, we are confident there are many high-tech industry will come because UK has the knowledge, they have the educated people to shape. Now, the new industries that the world is facing today are all industries that are paying higher because naturally people who are knowledgeable, they can produce better with more precision. And so the job of the person in the factory is really monitoring and adapting and changing and thinking. So ideas in people's brain today are more important than the effort by their hand. And today, a wealth of a country is not anymore like in the past, what is under the ground. It is actually how many good ideas. Mm-hmm. A good example is Apple. Apple is an idea by Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And that idea today produces $80 billion every year.
It's a great idea.
and basically, Apple doesn't have oil or minerals. They have ideas. Same thing with any new innovative business. So the knowledge, today is the age of the knowledge, the age of the brains. And that's what's going to help us. So that's what will shape the world destination for the industries.
You touched on it a little bit there in your answers when you talk about nanotechnology, but how is DP World using technology and AI to future-proof the global trading landscape?
Well, our company backbone and strength is the digital technology. We always use digital technology in the past, but I can tell you, during 2020, during the pandemic, we had no choice but to accelerate a new platform that we know we needed, but we didn't need it at that time. Mm-hmm. When the pandemic happens, it forced us not to meet with our customers. It stopped us from reaching out to people. So we launched many platforms that are helping us today. We have Freight Alliance, which is basically a platform where all the freight forwarders bid for our business. So if a trader wants to ship something from Japan to UK, freight forwarder will go on that platform and bid and get the best price. And so this helps us. Especially also as a company, we moved from a company that basically handle cargo in the port. So in other words, in 2016, DP World was a port operation company, which means our business and revenue is only in the port. That means the ship comes to the dock, and we take the cargo, put it in the yard, and take it out to the gate later on. From the time the ship comes until the cargo leaves the gate, we make money. The ship doesn't come, we don't make money. We felt in 2016 this is not sustainable because we depend on the ship coming. At the same time, we realized that there are so many complexities in the supply chain. And so we started to move out. We invested a lot of money to move our business, not just in the port, but be outside. So now, we are in charge of the cargo from the factory floor, wherever the factory is, to the customer door where the customer does. And there, we own vessels, we own trains, we are in charge of it completely. And so the digital platforms are helping us. For example, trace and track. We can tell where the cargo is and we can trace it. We have a platform called Cargos. So Cargos now is a port community, which means someone wants to clear their cargo, whether in Dubai or in Dakar, they go on the Cargos platform in that country, and they will get the custom to clear, the port charges, and they will get the permission to leave. The same thing is we have cargo finance. Cargos finance is a trade finance, digital. We worked with banks to work with us to provide trade finance. Why? Because today, traders pay up to 18% sometime on trade finance. With this Cargos finance, it could come as little as 5%. The reason is the banks will always be worried to finance a trade not knowing where the cargo is going to go. But when we put our digital platform, trace and track, they know live where is this cargo and where it's going.
Exactly.
They feel more comfortable. So it is not us putting money, it's a few banks that feeling, if you come with the system, you trace, you control, we feel comfortable. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, you mentioned at the beginning of all that acceleration and obviously the fact we've been through an unprecedented couple of years. You know, how do we keep up with the changes and the change in technology as well? You know, it's going very fast and coming very fast.
You know, the biggest danger any company has in the world is changes in technology. If you are not on top of it, you're going to be losing. And so today we have an amazing digital system. We have the ability, actually, with the team, with the knowledge, to deal with any issue we have around the world. We are actually monitoring our operation around the world. And our people can see an operation in our port in Manila, for example, and say, wait a minute, they call them, no, you have to do it this way, because we see it's more. So we do a simulation. We have an operation. We move a container from here to here, or bring the ship. We do a simulation to find the most efficient, fast, safe way, and then we tell them. So even though we are here, we're monitoring. I mean, we are able today to handle a container with a driver in Dubai, because today we have remote operation. So our crane operator, in the past, the crane is the backbone, is basically the heart of the port. So in the past, you have a crane driver. Today, we don't have crane driver. We have people sitting in their office, and by the way, women, actually, when we change it to automation, a lot of the operators were women, and they come and they basically handle it. There is no reason why, when they are sleeping in Australia, we can also handle the container. And when we are sleeping, they can handle for us. That is how important the digital transformation is.
What would you say is DP World's secret to success?
Is very simple. We are a customer-oriented company. Meaning, we will not invest in anything unless it's going to be used by our customers. We don't care to build something strategically good or we want to be the biggest. No. All what we invest is if they're going to be used by our customer. So the secret is we listen to our customer. And this is advice to tell to anybody. Listen to the customer. Listen to what they want. Because you might be investing your money in something you think they're going to like it, but you don't know. But if you concentrate your effort and your money and expense in what the customer wants, and I can tell you, all the development in DP World today, innovation, it all came from the customer. They'll tell us, I wish you could do this. You have a problem there. In fact, we are so happy when someone comes and complains, and they say, you did a very bad thing there, because unless someone tells us, we can't. So we listen. We have to listen, and that helps us.
What for you is your vision for the future? You know, what exciting things do you envisage having on the horizon for DP World?
Well, we are working in a very ambitious programs. our ambition really, again, is, I think one of the biggest things that concerns us, like everybody else, is the environment.
Yeah.
And when I was in Scotland and we saw how bad we are doing, it needs a lot of effort. So I think in the future we are working very hard to reduce the footprint. And it is already happening. Even the equipment we buy today, a crane, we're using the weight of the crane when it comes down to generate electricity. We changed all our machinery from fossil to electricity. I think the biggest challenge of the world, not just us, but everybody, is really how to reduce our carbon emission footprint. This is, I think, a big target, and it's everybody's business because it's our life.
If you could go back in time and give yourself a bit of advice in terms of what you've learned about strategy, innovation, and management in your wonderful career, what would you say to your younger self?
I think if somebody bring us back, we could make a lot of money. We'll not make the mistakes we made. But making mistakes is good because you never learn.
Yeah.
And if you don't make mistakes, you will never do anything.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining me today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that chat. Please don't go anywhere, stay with us. We've got an exciting rest of the program today, so thank you once again.